Hello, everyone. We're doing a review because I wanted to do a review on this, but I didn't want the video to be as long as the first one. So me and Dopeypoke are here. Say hi. Introduce yourself.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, guys? I'm Dopeypoke, or Liam if you prefer. I've got my own humble little channel on YouTube. Currently doing a horror marathon, so if horror is your game, then I've got you covered. Here with John, talking about Hellraiser 2. Very pleased to be aboard.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad you're here because I love this movie. It's really good. Um,
It is really good. I hadn't seen it for years, so I watched it. I just finished watching it literally 30 minutes ago, for the second time ever, and I was very impressed. I was very easily pleased as a younger man when it came to
yeah.
movies.
So was I.
So I, yeah, so I'm pleased to report that it is just as good as I remembered.
Yeah, I will say the movie is not that scary, but it doesn't really matter. The only scene I would consider scary is that opening scene where the body's against the wall, and it's the blood's painted on the wall, and it says "Help me, I'm trapped in hell." That scene's actually terrifying. I
Yeah,
remember seeing that
yeah,
for the
that
first time.
yeah, that's not good. I would also add that the scene where the Doctor Chenard, that's his name, kisses Julia all bandaged up. That's so creepy and unsettling. Like, sure, she's wearing bandages, but we all know what's underneath there, and just she wouldn't even have any lips. So,
it's
oh
it's
God, I
pretty
don't like it.
gross. The thing I love about the Hellraiser movies is the special effects are great, but they're not realistic to the point where it's like, oh, I can't watch this. It's just enough to where you're like, oh, that's fucked up. I I love it.
Yeah,
It's like the perfect amount of like you get it, but you're not like I can't look at the screen.
yeah, a lot of it is to do with the power of suggestion, and it does that extremely well. And me personally, it makes me yearn for the days of practical effects again because modern horror movies that rely heavily on CGI, they just don't compare. Like, even though there's one point where Julia in her muscle man form punches the mirror, and it's so obviously just like jam or jelly, but it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like, it sells it to you so
Yeah,
well.
I mean it's pretty easy to sell something when it's like you literally saw her have no skin. That does it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just wonder how
Like,
how fucking hard that must have taken forever to do that. Especially that scene where she climbs out of the mattress and she's got to crawl. Like I can't imagine how long that took.
yeah, and it looks so convincing as well, and the build up, the way it's done is perfect. Like, you see her two arms coming out, then you see a little bit of her torso, and then you just see that fucking hell face just coming out with that big toothy grin, and oh, it's horrible. Uh,
Uh
and yeah, just that little scuffle with her crawling along the floor,
yeah.
and it looks vaguely sexual and quite primal, and very good introduction
Yeah.
to the character if you're yeah.
I will say I like this movie a lot more than the first one because
Oh,
yeah,
really?
they literally this is what pretty much what happened. I don't know this for like at all for a fact. I'm just saying this because I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious. Is everyone said, "Yo, those Cenobites are pretty badass. Can we get more of those?" And they were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah," and then they did it, and that's like the movie because you see way more Pinhead, way more of all those dudes. They literally go into hell, and that's where most of the movie takes place. Um,
Do you know what the female Cenobite's official name
fuck, I
is?
can't remember.
Vagina.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought it was something else. I know clicker or chatter, not
Yeah,
clicker,
yeah, yeah.
chatter. That's vagina.
Yeah, he made
That's
that really is.
that's impressive.
That's what they called
Damn.
her, yeah. And I gotta say, the new Cenobite and Chanard, I don't know, I might like him better than Pinhead. I really like that whole design where he can, like, create those fleshy tubes from his fingers to create all sorts of instruments, like knives and flowers at one point for
Yeah.
some. You know, I've just thought that that's probably symbolic because he's gonna take Tiffany's virginity. That's probably what that's supposed to imply. That just occurred to me. That
that's
would make
pretty
sense.
cool. Well, I shouldn't say it's cool. It's fucked up, but it's neat.
Yeah. For horror hounds, it's cool.
Dude, Doug Bradley as Pinhead is probably my favorite horror villain, whatever you want to call him, ever. He fucking sells the role. Everything he says is a one-liner. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
He just
Very, very
spits
true.
out
And
fucking facts every 2 seconds.
Yep, he kills his victims with
Yeah,
facts
dude,
and logic.
he's opponents of those libtards.
Yeah. He's the Cenobites as a whole are just a really interesting movie monster. They're not like your typical, I don't know, slasher villains, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, nothing like that. They're actually layered. They've got personalities and motivations, and they have reasons for killing, even though they're a bit wacky. And they can be persuaded. So that's good.
There's an argument to be made that they're not even like bad guys. They're just kind of doing what they gotta do. Like they're just kind of doing their job. Like
absolutely, and they do.
Like if your dumbass opened this creepy ass puzzle box, you kind of deserve to get fucking destroyed.
Yeah, but they're not non-discriminatory, unlike in later movies. Because you've got Tiffany opening the box, but she just likes puzzles. That's just the way she is. So they're like, no, hands did not summon us. Desire does. And
that's weird though. Because how do you know what's in the box? How do you desire what's in the box? I don't understand. I never understood that.
Yeah, if you don't know what's in it,
how can you desire something that you don't even know exists?
Yeah, it's like.
And also,
world's most fucked up
how do you desire how? This is just getting kind of nitpicky because it really doesn't matter because I still love these movies. But why is it that you desire it? But then you dislike it. How do you desire it so bad, and then immediately, once it happens, dislike it? That immediately ruins the desire. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe you could see it as a sort of metaphor for, I don't know, drugs or alcohol. Like, you think you want it, but then when you actually get it, you immediately regret it. That might be a stretch. I've never seen anyone else say that, so maybe I'm talking nonsense. But
I don't know. It's kind of nitpicky because it doesn't really affect anything. Because without it, you have no movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly it. Have you ever read the book by? I haven't either. It's for the viewers. It's called The Hellbound Heart, and it's by Clive Barker. Stephen King once described them as the future of horror when his books first came out. So neither of us have read it, so we can't compare it.
I will say though, he made the first movie. I'm pretty sure he directed the first movie, but the second movie he didn't direct it, but he helped with the production.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, it's just a shame that immediately after this movie they just went complete slasher, and then in the very next movie we've got DJ Cenobite killing people with CDs.
Yeah, I will say though, the third movie, even though it's like completely off the rails and just completely disregards the first two movies, holy shit, is it entertaining. It is so much fun to watch.
I'm so glad you said that because I was going to say the same thing. Like, I haven't seen anything after 3 because, I watched 3 and went, okay, this is where this franchise is going.
They're remaking Hellraiser, did you know that? They're remaking it.
I think I've heard that for a couple of years.
Oh, it's for real. I saw it. They're really doing it, and I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, I don't know why they insist on doing that these days. Like, I've heard a movie critic make a good point. Remake by movies that weren't that good in the first place. You don't have to reach. I mean, when did the first one come out? 1988, 1989?
Something like that.
Like, it's too soon.
Yeah.
It's too soon.
I don't think if the movie was good, then don't just remake a bad movie and make it good. That's what you should do.
Yeah. Remake The Room for Christ's sake.
The Room. Everyone wants a remake of that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Did you notice, by the way, when I was watching it today, I do actually, for the viewers, I do actually own the movie legally, but for some reason the disc wasn't working, so I had to watch it online, and it had the subtitles embedded into the video. It turns out the officer at the start of the movie who empties his full revolver into a corpse, his name is Cooch. Yeah, Officer
That's an awesome
Cooch.
name.
I got arrested by the
Damn.
Cooch.
Never trust the Cooch.
No, don't get grabbed by the fuzz.
The
Or
fuzz.
nicked
The
by
fuzzy
the Cooch.
Cooch. Don't get grabbed by him.
Oh man.
Oh man. The only real negative you can have with the movie, I guess, is like the special effects. Because I think the movie overall is just like, it knows what it is and it does exactly what you expect it to do, and it does it really well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The special, it is just because it's the time it came out, but the like, not I should say, not the practical effects are some of the best I've ever seen, like legitimately ever. Because if you look at the Cenobites, just look up Pinhead like behind the scene, you're like, damn, it's literally just like in the movie.
Yeah, it must be the most uncomfortable makeup in the world, and he goes to conventions
Yeah.
with all that gear on. He's
Yeah.
a trooper, just like in the movie.
But like the special effects with like when they're standing on that fucking that bridge, with the giant god thing, whatever. I don't know the shape of the sky. I don't know.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Leviathan thing. It's like
They called it a god, but I don't know how a shape can be a god. It's kind of weird.
yeah.
It
I
looked-
don't get that either. It looks like. Right, I'm gonna look it up because it's the same shape as the Sims have above their head, so I'm sure it'll be easy to find. Sims head thing. There we go. Google coming through again. A plumb bob.
What?
Apparently, it's called a plumb bob.
Incredible.
Okay. The god plumb bob.
They really
Oh,
just
man.
threw us some fucking random names, I swear. Some goofy names. Yeah.
One thing I found kind of unusual. I mean, it fits, but at one part, I think when we're introduced to the character of Dr. Channard, he says the final solution. So we've got a very clear Hitler distinction there, but it isn't really followed up on. Like, I didn't really get much of a Hitler vibe from him, apart from the fact he was using his patients as guinea pigs.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I don't know. That caught me off guard.
I
Also, this guy is both a psychiatrist and a brain surgeon.
That
Like,
you know,
he's
can
a
we
bona
talk
fide
how
genius.
weird that is? They cut in the brain surgeon scene like a few times, like when they're fucking operating on the brain for no reason. I don't know why. It's so random. I remember they did it twice, I think, and I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need that. No one asked for that. That didn't do anything.
Yeah, it was probably just to show off. Oh, look, gross
Yeah,
brain.
it's like, okay. Kind of reminded me of that one Saw movie. There's so many of them, but one of them, I swear, they do brain surgery. I promise.
That's the third
Yeah,
one.
I own
Yeah.
all of them, and they only because they're funny. The first one's really good though, but the rest are just funny.
Oh, I like the second one as
Oh,
well,
really?
personally. Yeah, not as good as the first, obviously, but I still think it has a place. Everything after that can go to hell. Although you did get the return of Dr. Gordon in the final chapter. I watched those scenes, but not the whole movie, and even that was disappointing. Yeah.
So,
One
Yeah.
other.
no, you're good.
Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say go. So back to Hellraiser 2.
Yeah. Well, I guess the only big issue I had with the movie, and I say big issue, it's not that bad. Like the soundtrack was kind of lacking. Like when Julia gets resurrected, there's this weird '90s electronic jungle beat going with bongos and everything.
That's fair. That's fair.
I thought it was quite out of place, but hey, '90s movies, what
You
you
know,
gonna do?
this movie, the third one could have been so good, dude. Now that I'm thinking, it could have been so good. They completely just they don't even bring back the main character, which is insane. I don't know why. They literally set up the third
Yeah.
movie at the end where they escape, like the girl and her escape, and they just don't do anything with it. It's so weird.
Yeah, that cube that has like 20 million sides on it. If you
Yeah.
watch, Like you see about 10 different demons on a separate side. Like how big is this
They
thing?
could have had such a good third one because at the end you hear Pinhead say, "You'll come back. Don't worry, we know." Like he
Yeah.
basically just lets
And
her
then
leave.
yeah, it's a shame what could have been. And I remember very very little about the third one. It must have been 10 years ago. I saw
Yeah,
it at least.
I
Um,
I don't remember anything about it besides the only the ending is kind of cool, I guess. I kind of liked the ending because they separate the human version, like the human version of Pinhead and the real version, or which makes no sense because they're the same person. So why are you separating them? They're the same fucking person. Like it makes no sense, but whatever. And that was cool. I liked that little like him confronting himself scene was neat.
yeah, I wish I could remember it, or maybe I don't wish. I don't know, but I do remember it still being entertaining in spite of being a complete tonal shift from the
Yeah.
first two. I would have liked to see more like scenes in each character's personal hell. Get a real Silent Hill thing going on there. Like that one clown in two who had his eyeballs out and he was juggling them. I thought that
Oh
was
yeah,
genius.
yeah.
Uh,
That was a cool scene when she goes and she sees Frank, in that like incinerator room.
yeah,
That was dope.
and he's being teased by all the bodies coming out that he
Yeah.
can't fuck because as soon as he gets close, they go away. Man, that would drive anyone insane. Poor Frank. Although I do think I'm gonna guess that the actor who played the dad in the first movie simply couldn't come back because it really felt like he should have been there in some capacity.
He died. Didn't he?
Oh, did he die between the two movies?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
The
shit.
dad. I'm pretty sure Frank kills him.
Oh no! I know, but when she goes to hell and sees Frank, you would think, well, maybe the
Yeah,
dad's
yeah.
in heaven.
Because Frank kills the
Yeah,
dad and steals his skin. Remember?
Mhm.
And then then
Okay.
that's just it. He just died.
Yeah. It just feels like Kirsty goes on this big search for him and comes up with nothing. So I don't know. I would have liked, I don't know, like some "It's okay, Kirsty, I'm fine" as he reaches from a white void or something. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
big deal though. I'm just looking for things to say
Yeah.
at this point. But really, it is a very good movie.
Definitely worth a watch. I'm pretty sure it's on. I'm sure if you looked it up, you can find it online. I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi. I think that's where I watched it forever ago because I didn't have it on DVD, but now I do, so I don't have to do that.
Nah, mine is cursed. I really don't know what happened. The disc is perfectly clean, but when I put it in my PC, PS4, you name it, it was just making a really strange sound. I thought, this is ominous.
I guess that's it. I don't think we have much else to say about the movie.
No, except go as John said, go and see it. It is very good. It's,
I will
picks
say,
up
you have to
directly
see the
after.
first one because it is literally a direct continuation. Like the movie ends where the movie starts where the first one ends.
Yep, absolutely, including a little flashback
Yeah,
to
they-
the first movie.
They
which
do
normally
that thing where they're like previously on Hellraiser.
But normally I'm against that kind of thing, but it fit the tone because within the first 5 minutes you're getting
Yeah.
blood and guts. So it's like you know what you're getting in for. Yeah, go see it, definitely.
Yeah, that's it. Dopey's, all his links will be in the description. Go check him out. Super cool dude. He does horror stuff, like you said. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And go watch Hellraiser 2. It's called Hellraiser Hellbound, right?
It's actually called Hellbound Hellraiser 2, which I
That-
find weird, but yeah, apparently that's yeah. I'm gonna double check that. It's definitely what it says on
Dude,
the
no,
DVD.
you're right. I'm looking at the case. It's what it says. That's so weird. It says Hellbound Hellraiser 2. That's so weird. I thought it was like a subtitle. I thought it was Hellraiser 2 Hellbound. That's so weird. Because that sounds correct. That's so weird. Who did that? That's not a big deal. It's just weird. All right. So yeah, yeah, dude. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.